following assurances by the Lagos State government that it would rid the Apapa port of traffic gridlocks. Stakeholders say the situation is now returning to normal. One of those operators at the port is the Apapa Special Traffic Management Committee, which also notes that activities of cabals at the port has now been decimated. The committee lauded the success of the administration, Governor Sanwo-Olu's on zero tolerance to gridlock, extortion and corruption tendencies, as well as restoration of Apapa nightlife. Head of operations at the Apapa Special Traffic Management Committee in Lagos State is here with us in the studio, Adekoya, Hassan, and he will be telling us more about the situation in Apapa and how it has impacted the lives of operators there. I want to say very big welcome to you, Adekoya, for joining us today. Now, to get things started, you've been here a couple of times, and as we're speaking of, you are on the other divide, trying to press home your demands to the government. Now you're on this side, speaking for the government. Talk to us from the side of the government, having witnessed both sides. Talk to us. How have things changed in the last 1 year in Apapa?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm here to remind Lagosians and to tell them the reason why they have to vote Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu in second term. The deception of his administration. He promised he was going to clear Apapa gridlock. And he also promised he was going to restore Apapa nightlife. All of this, a lot of policies have been put in place that have been able to achieve all of this by setting up a committee, which I am now part of the committee, speaking for the state government, how we have been able to achieve it. This committee and a lot of policies, these policies has been able to take off the cabals and as well ensure you don't access Apapa without having anything doing there. So that's why.
But if I may be specific here, who are the so-called cabals running the show and causing so much mayhem and destruction, more or less, in the Apapa port? Gridlock has been there for a long time, and we've come to this moment. And is this a political scenario here now that the governor is up for elections? Now that we're seeing intense efforts at clearing the ports, could these have been done earlier, you think? Why now?
Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, his administration inherited all of this gridlock. The gridlock has been there since 2018. It started 2018, and there was a federal government agency that was in charge, oversee the affairs of the gridlock, before the stakeholder then pressured the federal government through the office of the vice president. There was another task force committee led by Okwefa then, before Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu got involved officially and he took over. It was in Apapa 2020, December 28, I can remember, when we have the stakeholders from the both ends saying he's not addressing the right stakeholder, this team are calling this other team cabal, and the other team, they were accusing each other, right in the presence of Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So those are the forces behind all the scenario of the happening in Apapa. The stakeholders, the federal government agencies. And let me remind you, Apapa is like an exclusive list, federal government zone. But Mr. Governor has shown the highest political will in Apapa right now as I speak by tackling all of this one after the other for the kind of strength he has and the political will of taking off the federal agencies and all and ensuring Apapa life is restored like we have today. So all of those people and have been taken care of by Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu.
All right. We used to work in Apapa.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
I was, we're speaking from experience.
Yes,
right?
A while back ago. And I must say, commendations must go to the governor for you, like you said, the political will to make that happen and actually decongest the roads leading into Apapa. But in the last 1 week, I will tell you that we are beginning to see tankers return back to that particular Ijora leading into Apapa Road again. I can tell you for sure. I'm not asking. I'm not saying I read it online. I noticed the decongestion happen, and right now I have noticed them returning back And I'm saying, what is happening? We thought they were the thing of the past. They are beginning to creep up again.
Thank you. You see, when we talk of tankers, they are fully involved when we talk of national matter. The tankers come into Lagos with their approvals to load. They got it from NLPC and all. The way tankers think, they felt these tankers had to feed 36 states of this country. And if it takes them to take part of Lagos, they don't mind. And as I told you earlier, Mr. Governor has ensured to make sure every road users have access. Tanker alone cannot just seize the road. A lot of policies has been put in place to ensure tanker does not block our road or deny Lagosian access.
If I may comment.
No, but you have not answered the question.
Okay.
The question is, they were reduced to the barest.
Okay.
But right now we are seeing them on the rise again. What is happening?
There is so many demands for fuel. Lagos alone feed 36 states.
So are you saying that's the reason why they are returning again?
They are not returning. They are only coming in to fetch, to pick their products.
Okay.
What we used to have then, the tankers occupy the whole road. No commuters access Apapa. No residents access Apapa. Residents only access Apapa via bikes, Okada.
True.
But today, you can easily drive into Apapa from here under 15 minutes.
Okay, Adekoya, if I may come in right now. If you go back, way back during the administration of even Governor Fashola then, as far back as then, there was this issue of trying to introduce special parks whereby these trailers and even the tankers can park and, of course, while waiting for to get their goods from the ports. And what is the status of that? Is that still in place? And secondly, gridlock have oftentimes been blamed on security, allegedly. Officials who are supposed to monitor and, of course, to a large extent, control the level of the traffic regarding those tankers or trailers, as container trailers, as you would have it. Over time, I think an electronic tally system was introduced.
Yeah.
What is the status of all of this? Because sometimes you still see these trailers parked on the bridges.
True.
I was there just not too long ago, sometime last year, and I'm perplexed at the sight of still seeing trailers on these bridges that are already dilapidated due to their presence.
Thank you. Regards the truck parks, like I said earlier, what Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu has done, he has ensured he collaborated with Lagos Nigerian Port Authority on the issue of the E-callup, the introduction of the E-callup.
Yeah.
And the E-callup has been able to manage the movement, the inflow of trucks.
Is it still operational?
It's still operating here as we speak.
Okay.
And as for the tankers, the tanker, when we talk of tanker is more of a national issue. And Lagos State government is engaging the stakeholders, which are the owners, like NATO, NOPENG, the PTD. Those are the critical stakeholders. Engagement is ongoing with them to ensure they stick to the plans of the E-callup, move from your park to whatever terminal or depot you are going to. And on the other end, the issue of the corruption you said earlier?
Yeah, regarding the security agents, there's the act of extortion from even the tanker drivers and the trailers. They were complaining for several, several times over time about this issue.
Yeah, because I think Josh Chuku of Cowrie Investments actually mentioned that to move a tanker from Apapa to Surulere, that is not just far. It will cost that particular container or tanker, whatever the case may be, over ₦1 million.
And which makes nonsense of whatever tally system you're trying to achieve here.
Because they claim we still see them on the road. Yeah. We see sometimes the army. We see sometimes the navy. We see sometimes we also add to LASMA, road safety. They're not talk about the Agberos. Everyone wanted to collect their own piece of the pie. and these people
Unofficial tolls.
and these people are always frustrated because they it's almost like their right to collect, because if you do not give these people, you will not be given access to the next 1 kilometer where you will meet as another set of people that would also demand these levies from you. What is the government doing about this? Because the government seems to be turning a blind eye to the fact that these people are extorted exorbitantly, time and time again.
You see, if corruption goes unpunished, the nation will remain unbalanced. That's the truth. A lot is going on. Governor Olusola Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, he's not in charge of Nigerian customs. He's not in charge of Nigerian Port Authority, and as well he's not also in charge of FOU and Song. All of these agencies have been around and along this corridor. All I can say here today is a more collaboration from the federal government and the state government, so they can engage them more. But whenever corruption goes unpunished, the nation will remain unbalanced.
All right, Adekoya, we've seen some efforts at trying to repair the roads, especially within the port region. And to a large extent, that was also a contributory factor to the gridlocks every now and then. In fact, some of the expressway leading into the ports was, non-existent, not even motorable. So was this more of a private initiative, or is there still a collaboration with the government in getting these roads fixed? Because even the issues we're talking about, the security, extortion scenarios, you witnessed this right from the Mile 2 section. It's taking place right all the way to the Apapa. So it's it's a gambit of so many problems. I understand the dichotomy you're trying to emphasize regarding the federal status and, of course, the efforts being put in place by the state government. But there has to be a synergy to ensure that we see some kind of peace and harmony development in that area. Because let's face it, a lot of, especially the real estate, has been highly affected in that area. Many people have moved away, and we're seeing it the way it is. How do you restore that confidence back?
On the dilapidated roads in Apapa,
Yes.
Mr. Olusola Babajide Sanwo-Olu has been doing the road. I think 2 months ago, the road was fixed. That exit belongs to federal government.
You keep emphasizing the federal government. Well, if it passes through Lagos State, they could take up the gamble themselves. Okay, fine, we're going to do this, perhaps to a large extent, even if it's a temporary scenario, and then pass on the bills to the government, because it's about timing is of the essence. It's not just waiting for the government, the federal government, to do what they're supposed to do.
Like I said earlier, Governor Olusola Babajide Sanwo-Olu has been pointing on the highest level of political will to ensure the road in Apapa are smooth for the road users. Coming back to the Mile 2 exit you said earlier.
Yes, definitely.
That road has been under construction for a while. And in as much as that road is still under construction, the road is not being constructed by Lagos State government.
Okay.
I know you are aware. I will still go back to federal government. So Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu is doing everything within his power to ensure Lagosians has access to Apapa and free flow of traffic around there.
All right, you mentioned nightlife, because you spoke about the fact that real estate has been heavily impacted by the whole gridlock leading into Apapa. And you've spoken about Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's resolve to ensure that nightlife returns back to Apapa. So where are we right now? Do people that have houses in Apapa, can they freely go in there? And what's life like in Apapa at a certain time when you go into Apapa? All the roads from Liverpool,
entry points and
all the roads were literally jammed with trucks
all over the place.
So how are things right now? Because I haven't been there in a while because of all that. But how is the nightlife right now?
The nightlife now is 70% back. I live there. 70% back. Back then we used to have more of the nightclubs. A lot of people come patronizing Apapa. As I speak now, the whole of that life is coming back. 70%. And all the residents around Apapa, daily, they give it to Babaji Olushola Sanwo-Olu.
Very good. Frankly, you will need to do more to try and instill confidence in people to return to Apapa. Definitely. I'm not saying the efforts hasn't been worthwhile, but definitely there has to be a lot of public enlightenment from your group. Adekoya, Hassan, Head Operations of Apapa Special Traffic Management Committee. I'd like to thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.